It is October 17, 2012 on a Wednesday, 11:01 p.m. on the California coast. And up next, this is Pink. Well, I have another story coming out of Louisiana. Meteorite impacts Earth in Minden, Louisiana. Media and government cover it up. Well, folks, it's getting stranger and stranger, don't you think? What is the real truth behind all these stories that are coming out of Louisiana? Well, we all know that the sinkhole is really happening. It's really there. It's really dangerous, and it really has gas coming out of it. And it is, an unsafe situation. We all know that. But what's floating around about explosions and meteorites and train wrecks and everything else, well, I guess all we can do is try to find the truth here. Okay, this one is about meteorite impacts the Earth in Minden, Louisiana. This report is by Joe Quinn of SOTT.net, which is a very reliable website, by the way. Usually very reliable, okay? October 17, 2012, on a Wednesday. Many scientists are quite happy to talk openly about a sixth extinction being underway for the past 10,000 years or so because they blame humans for it. Blaming humans carries with it the anthropocentric implication that we are in some way immune to sudden extinction and can do something about the extinction of other species. If only we would change our global warming ways, is what it said. The true facts of the history of life on Earth, however, suggest that from nature's point of view, humans are just one more species whose days are also numbered. Indeed, the historical record shows that nature has, time and again, proven itself very adept and creative at resetting the clock on even the most advanced civilizations. For those who don't want to read any further or be confronted with the evidence, the nitty-gritty is that over the past few years, the celestial signs in the form of an increasing number of meteorites, comet fragments invading our not-so-rarefied atmosphere point to humanity being on the verge of an extinction-level event. Whoa! Is that what that's saying? Read that sentence, will you? It's pointing to humanity being on the verge of an extinction-level event. That's what SOTT is saying, and that's what Joe Quinn at SOTT is saying. And they're giving you the opportunity to skip over the video if you're not wanting to hear what they have to say. Well, let's check it out. I mean, why not? We're here. It's one person's opinion. Louisiana explosion. Just one more in a long list. SOTT.net has been tracking the startling increase in reports of meteorite comet fragment sightings and impacts for at least 8 years, and there have been many hundreds of such reports in that time period. This alone should give us cause for concern. Check out the above link to get an idea of just how frequent meteorite comet fragment sightings have become. Of course, you might say that this apparent increase could just be the result of us paying more attention. And I've heard that too myself. Many people say that. We're paying more and more attention. But the numbers don't lie. For example, browsing the right bar links on the above SOTT.net blog, you'll notice that in 2004, 2005, and 2006, reports were consolidated into 2-month periods, and there were, on average, less than 10 sightings over that 2-month period. By contrast, in 2008, reports were plentiful enough to begin collating them into monthly records, and since then, their numbers has increased steadily. Ooh. And we'll take a look at this to see what they're talking about. Okay, it says fireballs and meteorites, SOTT.net. So according to them, they've been keeping an eye on all this. Well, looks like they have been. It goes over all these different fireballs and meteorites hitting the planet or being sighted by people. Wow, look at this, the right-hand side. They've kept very extensive records, I would assume. Let's see. Okay, let's just click on one of these links on the right-hand side. See where that takes us. Taking us to the blog. Okay, so there you go. You can check that out. And you've got the video attached to it to show you what it's about. Okay, and there's a comet. Comet P 1994 X1. And it goes over all the data. And there's more. Well, looks to me like they kept very good records, folks. Very, very detailed records. Okay, no doubt about that. And I just showed you that you can click right here. Click this link and it'll take you right to all their records. Okay, coming back to the present, over the past few days, several reports of meteorite comet fragment sightings and impacts across the globe have been registered. However, I want to look at one specific event that occurred 2 days ago on Monday, October 15th. And let's read more. I'm interested in hearing about it. All right. On that night, people across Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi reported seeing bright flashes in the sky and fireball trails. And in the Shreveport area of northwest Louisiana, many residents also heard booms that shook houses to their foundations and broke many windows in the town of Minden. Here are the words of Amy Mealy, who lives just a few miles from Camp Minden. I honestly thought we were being bombed, Mealy said of the explosion at a Explo Systems bunker, also known as an igloo, in Webster Parish. It was the scariest thing I've ever been through, is what she said. Sheriff flip-flops. When dozens of people called the Webster Parish Sheriff's Office, as well as the KSLA News 12 newsroom, to report seeing flashes of light in the sky and hearing loud booms that shook houses, the Sheriff's Office initially stated that there was a possibility that a meteor did hit the ground in that area. The following morning, however, Webster Parish Sheriff Gary Sexton claimed that the mystery had been solved, that hazmat experts told him what people had actually seen and heard was an underground bunker containing explosives that blew up late Monday night at Camp Minden. Not only was there nothing to see here, but the explosion worked exactly as it was designed to do. The first problem with the munition dump explosion answer is a problem of coincidence. What are the odds that, at around the same time as people across 3 states, Mississippi, Texas, and Louisiana, and hundreds of miles apart, were seeing what was clearly a meteorite comet fragment burning up in the lower Earth atmosphere, a munitions dump would explode? With a question mark? More to the point, if a munitions dump did explode, what are the odds that a meteorite comet fragment with which many eyewitnesses believe hit the ground in the area would be in no way connected to the explosion? The second problem is one of evidence. At first light on Tuesday morning, the good people at KSLA News boarded their chopper and flew over the Louisiana Army ammunition plant. Here's what they filmed. And this is a meteorite hits Louisiana Army ammunition plant. Oh, a meteorite hit the ammunition plant? Aha. The first thing we notice is that the scorch path is not consistent with an explosion from underground, especially a bunker. that is designed to send any blast up instead of out. And surely that would leave a gaping hole in the ground, right? Well, instead what we see is a long scorch path consistent with a projectile hitting the earth from above at a fairly acute angle. In fact, it is rather similar to the marks left by airplane crashes. Aha! The scorch path of the object that hit the Camp Minden area. And that's the scorch path. The second thing we notice is that the train that was derailed shows definite evidence of having been hit by an object or blast wave that was moving along the ground, not up and out. Okay, folks, I'm going to skip over some of this in the interest of time. I'm running out of time here. Very interesting explanation here. Okay, and this is a Doppler radar image of unknown turbulence over Beebe, Arkansas on January 1st, 2011. And they're talking about, let's see, it led to many mass bird die-off episodes. And it's talking about a detonation that also occurred at about 7,000 feet. It says here, given the available evidence, my theory at the moment is this. The events of Monday evening that were reported in the northwest Louisiana area and specifically near the Camp Minden base were the result of a meteorite comet fragment entering the Earth's atmosphere and following a southeast to northwest trajectory roughly over mid-Florida, proceeding over the Gulf of Mexico and then over the states of Mississippi and Louisiana. The object then exploded over the northwest Louisiana area, causing a loud boom. A fragment continued on and hit the ground in the Camp Minden area. The ash that is reported to have fallen came from the initial overhead explosion. Before I finish, there's one further idea that I think is worth taking seriously. There has been much speculation on and support for the idea that viruses can and do come from space. Aka panspermia. That is to say, viruses reach Earth on the space rocks carrying some form of carbon-based life forms. These enter our atmosphere and deposit said life forms on our planet. It has been suggested that Halley's Comet, for example, caused the outbreak of the 1918 Spanish flu, which didn't come from Spain. Okay, and it goes on from there. So what's my point? Well, maybe it's that our advanced global society down here on Earth continues to circle the plug hole. The skies above our heads seem to be growing ever more crowded with potentially death-dealing space rocks, and maybe the two are connected in some strange way. Uh-oh.